Activos Mexicanos started off in the 60s, as I had mentioned earlier, by community members, and particularly this one gentleman, Alberto del Valle. He saw at that time the strong need with an emerging Latino population in our state to be able to see more Latino services, or services being more tailored and directed towards Latinos. And since we have in our state, a lot of folks who are coming from rural areas to the urban area, they're confused, they're lost, they're not sure of the directions they need to go to survive in the larger city. So part of what happens is organizations like this become caretakers. They help people to make that transition to work and to grow through things. That role, that position is still there. Activos no longer exists as an organization. SER Jobs for Progress no longer is there today. My understanding of the Centro de la Raza has emerged into something with multifaceted, and they have maybe other directions that they're going. They may be part of an answer, but as large as our population is in our state, it's not incumbent on just one organization. So in the old days of Activos, in the old days of SER, in the emerging times of Centro, those were good for their times as they're growing, but we're in a new time with a much larger emerging population that needs to focus on the things of today. So there's a lot of growth that needs to happen. When I look at kind of the historical perspective or how you see the world, I almost look at it thinking of the ocean. We're always talking about how waves hit the beach and how one wave comes, then the next wave comes, and the next wave comes. And in many senses, that's raza. People say, well, we came up from New Mexico, we came up from Texas, we came up from California, or Mexico, or Central America, or South America, one way or another, maybe from the east side. We came here. Some were born here, some were raised here, but more came. And our population continues to grow, just like those waves hitting the beach. One thing is for certain, we're not going away. We're not just going to pack up and say, "Oh, let's go find a new country. Let's go inhabit an island somewhere." That's not going to happen. Raza is here to stay, and probably for the betterment of this state, as employees with a strong work ethic, we're the taxpayers. We're the bread and butter. And although you can't run out there and see on a big billboard sign, "Gracias para todos los mexicanos that are doing all this work and all this stuff. Gracias for those puestos," and all that kind of stuff that they're doing to pay those taxes and keep us all going. You're not seeing those thank you signs. But you know it every day that if we aren't here, it's almost like that movie, The Day Without a Mexican. If we're not here, there's a lot of this state or this country that would just succumb to a lot of issues. So there's a lot of recognition that still needs to come by government, by our communities, by business, to continue to build a better relationship and to have this new emerging Latino youth and adults that are here, to have them participate in the American dream.
You talked a little bit about helping folks transition into from maybe from a rural to urban center. What were those services that you guys provided through the organization?
Well, in years past, we had people that would come from anywhere, rural kind of communities coming into Seattle, and in Seattle you have this large metropolitan communities, and people would come here and say, I don't know where to get a place to stay. I don't know, where do you get food? I mean, maybe it's a grocery store, but yeah, if you got $500,000 in your pocket, nothing's an issue. But when you come in as a poor family, well, I need gas, I need to feed the kids, I gotta have a place to stay. A lot of those things are really foreign in a urban area. And a lot of folks start looking to say, well, who do I know? Where do I go? Who do I talk to impress upon them that these daily substance things we need? And Activos was one of those organizations that could address that. Part of our grants went to housing, to employment services, to translation services, emergency food, shelter, clothing kinds of things. Those were the basic necessities that happened. Beyond that, the natural thing is you say somebody's going to get in trouble. Okay, so you deal with the penal issues, whether it's city, county, or the kids getting in trouble, school or something like that, or maybe it's even the larger piece where people say, well, I got busted and I'm now serving time in a state institution or a federal institution. So we worked with inmates. We worked in some of those pieces. We worked with youth groups. We helped kids transition from some of the school district issues. We worked with the parents and the families about food, shelter, clothing, and employment. And employment is a huge issue. And whenever you talk to Raza, no matter how you say it, employment becomes a paramount thing. I'm going to go to school. What kind of job are you going to get? What kind of are you going to get a job when you're done with that? I'm going to school. I'm going to in medicine. I'm going to become a doctor. Oh, a doctor's great. Oh, okay. And they're thinking of employment. I'm going to become an attorney. And then you're going to become an attorney. Yeah, that's great employment. And you're like, wow. We always think in employment terms. That's instilled on us from small children all the way through. So that's part of the makeup of our communities. It's rare to ever see a Latino with a cardboard sign standing on the corner of a Safeway or a Walmart saying, I have no food, I have no income, help me, take care of me. Yeah, they'll say, yeah, you want that? Then you want a job. I know a lot of farmers that'll hire you. You can pick cherries. Hombre. You see that in a lot of places, but Raza will work. They'll pick cherries. Other communities won't. So, but Activos did those kind of transition things that were necessary and were looked for by Latinos. So it was aimed and focused to helping our Latino community.